Welcome to the Living Big podcast, where we're all about embracing life to the fullest. Hey, I'm Marley.
And I'm Kylie, and we're thrilled you're here. We explore how to pursue our passions, nurture meaningful connections, and inject some serious fun into our lives.
We're here to show you you're not alone.
And we want to do what we can to ease the stresses of everyday life and help you in your journey of living big.
This episode is proudly sponsored by Event Penguin, your go-to solution for creating unforgettable events. Say goodbye to clunky and hard-to-use event sites and create your next event in minutes today.
Whether it's a party, conference, or a networking event, Event Penguin has everything you need to bring your vision to life. Visit eventpenguin.com today and discover beautiful, customizable event pages that make planning a breeze. With a seamless guest experience, Event Penguin lets you focus on what truly matters, making your event a smashing success. Start building your community through events effortlessly. Jump in!
All right, here we go. Welcome to Living Big with Marley and Kylie. We're so excited to be back for another episode. Today we are talking about all things capturing memories.
Yes, and I'm really, really pumped because we're a little bit freaks about this.
Yes, one more so than the other. I try, but Kylie is a legitimate photographer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say legitimate freak.
No. Photographer.
Yeah.
Does that make you automatically like a freak though?
I think so because my husband says I'm a data nightmare because I have terabytes on terabytes of data.
What are you going to do with all of that one day?
I do a lot of journaling, scrapbooking, and then I don't know. It's going to be bad. My poor posterity. Good luck. No, I'll try to organize it. I do organize things.
I'm sure it's really
right
well
now.
organized.
I just got on Flickr.
Yeah.
Which, if you didn't know about Flickr, it's like the best photography app out there.
Oh.
Not because it's modern like technology,
Okay.
but because it is so pure to photography and it's full raw like upload. You can upload unholy amounts of actually unlimited amounts of photos onto it. And I am so excited.
Cool. I feel like
And
Flickr's been around for a while.
It's like a community. It's
Yeah.
like just photographers like sharing their photos with each other, or you can make them uber private and you can even use it to like send to clients and things like that.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm getting to know that, but it's really, really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And dangerous is what you're
Super dangerous.
telling
yeah.
me.
But it's good because I'm like organizing things and like trying to like put them into albums and trying to like sift through what I want like backed up
Yeah.
versus like I don't care about like saving screenshots and junk like that forever. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Google Photos has betrayed you.
oh, I am so upset right now because my Google is over capacity and it's telling me that I'm going to start not being able to use my email and everything.
Oh.
But I'm paying so much for storage and I just upgraded because it prompted me to. And it's like, this will be enough. And now it's telling me it's not enough. So I literally don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah, that sounds like a horrible thing I have to go through and figure out. But yeah, I'm a data nightmare.
Okay.
Is how Hiram describes me. And that's actually true. So I can't like refute that.
Well, maybe we'll have to have a conversation, tips and tricks on how to store nightmare amounts of data.
I've got hard drives. I've got all the things. But yeah, I have nightmare amounts of memories.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now that we've said that, let's go into reading a kind comment. Okay. This one comes from a TikTok video that we posted with Stacy Lynn Coaching. We keep getting little bits of goodness and happiness and things and just like really sweet, kind messages from people. And I don't know about you, but it just feels like we're on top of the world when someone says anything kind like that. Anywho, so to the person that wrote this, thank you. And for anyone who writes anything nice about us, thank you so much.
We literally screenshot them and send them to each other, even though we're both checking all of our accounts.
Right.
Because we're like, can we talk about this?
Uh-huh.
Like, it's so fun.
Yep. And then we like cry a little bit about it.
Yeah.
So, okay. So this is from a person on TikTok, like I said, who said, you came across my FYP today and I really needed this. I had a full meltdown just a few days ago because I needed a break, but I felt like such a terrible mom for feeling like I needed a break. Thank you. Heart. We've all been there. We've all been there because you're like, I need a break, but then you feel bad.
Yeah.
That's so sad. I'm sorry.
I have so many things to say, but
I know.
the biggest one is just like, I want all of us who ever feel any similar vibes to what this person is feeling to know that you're not alone and you're not a bad mom. You're not a bad person for
No.
like feeling these things. And I'm excited that we are vocalizing some of the things we're experiencing and trying to normalize them and building this community, because already just from last week's episode specifically, we've gotten so much feedback from people like, thank you for sharing this, for being open, for letting me share my experience and like asking questions on the stories that then people answer. Like, it's helping everyone. We're putting all these resources in our Instagram as well on highlights and things, because we realized we want people to be able to come to our landing page and find their people and find helpful resources and friends that are experiencing similar things, because you're not alone. And I think that's the scariest part, is like this cute mom when she felt utterly alone, you know, and just
That
like,
makes me so sad.
I know.
Like,
So we
sis,
don't want
we've been
that.
there.
I
Like,
know.
I feel like I felt that level of loneliness for a moment. You know, you have those moments where it's just really hard.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I don't know if I can do this. And then you feel bad for thinking that. And you're like, I got to be the only one because so-and-so's got her crap together. But you're like, actually, no. At least that's what I'm seeing, is like everyone has moments of I'm losing it. I'm absolutely losing my mind. It's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
And I just feel like if there's anything we can do to put out content that makes you feel like proud of what you're doing and makes you feel seen,
Yeah.
or helps you in a hard moment, or you guys connect through our content, then like we're doing it right. Like even if it's one single individual, and this person like is evidence of that. So thank you guys for being vulnerable and open with us, and we will continue to do the same and continue to try and provide that kind of community for all of us, because it really buoys me up.
Amen. Amen. Oh, I love it. Okay.
Best.
So let's get into it. We've already talked about it. We're going to talk about capturing memories. Yeah. Moments, whatnot. And we're going to focus on like photography and videography, things like that. So
I feel like there's so many aspects that we could get into, and we probably will in future episodes.
Yeah.
Journaling and, you know, so many other things, but specifically because right now we're kind of focusing on photography and videography, we're just going to kind of dive in.
I know.
A little 101 on like how to do some of this.
Maybe some
Give
things
you-
we've learned.
Yeah, give you some tips, tricks, and then we can all keep capturing our memories.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, so jumping in, I feel like this is like obvious. Capturing memories is important, but I also think it's kind of interesting to dive into the why. Like, why is it actually important? Obviously, there's that emotional and sentimental value that memories can have, and it is a great way of documenting milestones and everyday moments. But I also think one of the coolest things is that we are creating a legacy for our children. Like, we're literally creating history. My grandpa, he is 94 years old, and he's been telling me this story recently that back in the very beginning days of his marriage with his wife, my grandma went to go throw like a brochure or something away from something they went to, and he was like, oh, don't throw that away, that's history. And then he said he also created a data nightmare. She was he calls her a paper nightmare, because she started collecting history in binders, 3-ring binders, and putting them in sheet protectors.
Okay, but that's cool.
It's really cool, but now he's trying to go through her whole history and sort through it all and figure out like what is, you know, important to keep and everything.
Yeah.
But obviously we're not encouraging like hoarding or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it is history. We are creating history. And that's so cool to think about. Like, I love studying history. I love thinking about history. I love looking back and like learning from people who have come before me. And we get to do the same thing when we document our moments, which is awesome. And today we have way more opportunity because we all have these devices in our hands.
Yeah.
And some of the really cool things about reliving and sharing experiences with family and friends, and studies done by what it can do to have family photos and videos in your home and actually like displaying them for your family to see are really awesome. So anyway, there was a recent study done by Chatbooks, which is a cool photo company, right? They make amazing photo books, great way to document what you've done that year or your travels or your little kids' milestones. And they've got all kinds of templates. This is not sponsored. Jinx. But I think they're really cool. And they did this study with university professors and on the effects of family photos being displayed in your home. And so we're just going to kind of go through them. Do you want to talk about the first one?
So 75% of participants stated that looking at printed photos of their family gave their child a stronger sense of their own identity.
Pretty awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
68% of participants stated that looking at family photos enhanced their child's imagination and storytelling abilities.
Okay, that's way cool.
I know.
Whoa.
The creativity aspect. I'm like, ooh.
83% of participants stated that looking at family photos strengthened their child's connection to their family. I have totally seen that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh my gosh, that's my little sister. That's my little brother.
Oh,
yeah, I
so
love
cute.
that. 79% of participants stated that looking at photos of their family made them feel loved.
Oh. 68% of participants stated that looking at photos of their family made them feel like they were doing a good job as a parent.
Yeah.
So we all need this.
Not just the kids, but the parents too.
Yeah.
And I know like it can be really hard thinking about taking family photos and things like that. And so even more than the super curated stuff, today we're going to be talking about just like documenting real life moments.
Yeah.
And more of the candid stuff over the post stuff, because that's going to bring so many emotions flooding back to you when you look at them. But I'm just here to say that photos matter, and I know that I'm really biased because I'm a photographer. But I genuinely think so, and I actually was talking to my husband about this recently, and I thought it was really interesting. He was like, you don't know what you don't know. He's like, I've never thought it was important to... He's like, it's not that it's not important, but he's like, I never really thought it was super crucial for me to like look back at photos and look back at memories or journal, right? Yeah. He's like... I've never been a big time journaler, but I went back and retroactively journaled our entire like time together from when we first met and started dating to now, and all of our memories and everything. And we have a little widget on our phone that shows us, you know, this time last year, 3 years ago, 6 years ago, these are the things that you were doing. And he said that he didn't know how impactful it was going to be until he had that. And now every day he literally can't wait to see what happened. And he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Coley was doing this. I can't believe you and I were doing this. Like, it brings memories flooding back to him and so much love. And so he really loves seeing the organized memories. And like I said, he just didn't know how big of an impact it was going to have on him until he had that. Yeah. And so I think we just don't know what we don't know. But looking back and having those, you will be so grateful, because there's so many things you would just forget, like straight up. Yeah. And that's sad to me. I'm like, I'm a nostalgic person. I don't want to forget things. I'm like, oh,
true blue millennials here.
It's so true.
Yeah.
But even if you haven't been doing this up to this point, it's not too late.
No.
Just start today.
It's never too late.
Just start documenting things, even if they're not great at first.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yep. We're going to talk about some video settings on your phone. I personally am an iPhone person. Mm-hmm. This is what I take videos on. Okay. And I have a Pro so that I have the 3 cameras, and so that it's like a little bit nicer and there's more things that it can do. And I'll kind of talk through those. I state that as a disclaimer because I don't know much about anything Android related. However, there are some tips in here that are hopefully
generic.
Yeah. The first one being have a grid on your camera. That one's really helpful. If you struggle with like making sure that your video is like straight kind of thing, you can in like editing, you can usually kind of twist and fix and things like that. However, it's a lot easier if you have grid lines on your camera. And if you are kind of annoyed by it at first, you'll get used to it, I promise, and then you won't even notice it, and it's just so super helpful. And this can be on just like normal video and in cinematic. So, and then stabilization kind of techniques. There's things you can do. You can have tripods. I highly recommend. Maybe we'll like link our favorite tripod that we use. But there are super cheap tripods you can get from Amazon, where you set up your little phone. And what I like to do is take a video a lot of times, and then you can use that for pictures. But or a gimbal. I really want a gimbal at some point. Oh my gosh.
To get the smooth.
Yeah, some phones have stabilization semi built into them.
The iPhone's actually pretty good.
I would say it's pretty good. but maybe I just have shaky hands. I don't know. But a gimbal is it's a device you can stick your phone or your camera, whatever it is that you're working with. And it basically is kind of like a gyroscope where it will stabilize the phone no matter what kind of things your hand is doing.
Takes the shakiness out of it. Just kind of keeps it like flowing nicely.
A lot of them also have like extra little buttons on there to help zoom or to take a picture or whatever, things like that. They've got cool stuff out there.
There's expensive ones and then there's also just like some easy ones.
I want an expensive one one day. Okay. Play with the exposure. This is so fun, being able to kind of look at what it is that you're taking a video of and then kind of play with the exposure. At least on an iPhone, there's a kind of a button on the actual screen itself being able to like edit the exposure. You can also always edit exposure afterward as well if you want.
One of my favorite things about the exposure and doing it before is just going to help it be better quality in the end. Like you can obviously do it afterwards, but it does help. And I noticed like when we went to Taylor Swift at the concert, I just like lowered that exposure way down because it's like a dark arena and she was far away and it's really bright and it would just wash her out and wash the stage out. But the more I dragged that exposure down, then I was able to catch things in like real color, which is fun. And then you can have more editing ability. I think if you underexpose, but that's just a personal preference.
I'm also of the opinion that if you get a pretty decent video, then you don't need to do as much work later, kind of thing. So that's what we're aiming for, is better in the beginning, so that way later it's a little bit easier, maybe less work kind of thing, in the editing side of things. Also, this is my biggest pet peeve, okay, people?
Just clean.
Clean your camera, whether it's the front or the back, clean it, okay? I don't know what it is.
Blurriness.
I don't know why it like just, it rubs me so wrong when it is fuzzy, blurry, something. It is just the easiest way to make your video look better. Just clean your camera.
Yeah. Make sure that it's not blurry.
Yeah.
And if you look at your screen, I mean, again, like if you're capturing a moment and you don't realize that happened, then okay, whatever. But if you can,
clean it.
Just look at your screen.
Just look at it.
Since these are digital devices, you can see in real time what it's actually recording.
Super nice. Yeah. Super nice. I do love that point. Yes. I love this one, getting on their level. This is maybe with kids or with animals, with family, friends, whoever. It makes for just a really cool video. If you just go down onto their level and create a cool little video kind of thing. Don't be afraid to get like close and low. And I saw this really cute video of like a little boy was like on a picnic blanket, like coloring or something like that. And the mom had what I think she had done, I think, is she had flipped her phone upside down, because you can get it a little bit better that way. You can get lower, right, than you can, because physically the camera is closer to the ground when you have it upside down. So I think what she did is she had it upside down, and she did this cool cinematic video where she like went across like the blanket kind of thing. So cute.
That's so fun.
Oh, so cute. It looked so good. Anyhow.
Yeah, just get like crafty too. Try new angles, try new things.
Exactly. Yes. The best is if they don't know you are taking video. Yeah. Yep. That's a real thing.
Like kids and adults. I would love candid videos and photos of myself. Like that'd be amazing.
Yep.
And make that happen for other people.
Yeah.
And they love it.
Yep.
So that's always a good tip.
I love that. Yep. You can absolutely storyboard your kind of ideas of what you want to do for your videos. Like the other day I went to a museum, and I knew that I wanted to do the whole Wes Anderson film style situation. And so I just kind of had that idea in my brain, and I was like, this would be a fun activity for me to do in that style.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well. So I just knew like, okay, I got to get a couple of me walking past shots. I know I got to get like a couple of just panning, showing things or whatever, maybe just like still shots. I just set my phone against my purse in random places, and that kind of worked as a stabilizer there. And so yeah, you can kind of come into a video idea with a plan. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't shy away from that. You can go from different angles, different perspectives. My favorite thing is to do like a pan kind of thing. You can also do, you can also play with, this is kind of editing, but you can play with different transitions and things like that. And that can really spice it up, I feel like. So, yeah, you can absolutely mix it up. Be candid, have an idea if you want to. There's so many things you can do. I mean, honestly, it's just another outlet of creativity.
Yeah.
And the sky is the limit based on, whatever it is that you want to do. And you can absolutely pull inspiration, I feel like, from other people.
Yeah.
I had my whole Wes Anderson idea, and everyone has done that trend.
Yeah.
But I was like, this would be a fun place to do it. And I have maybe some fun ideas for shots I want to get or things like that. So let's talk about some editing. I personally love, my favorite that I use is InShot, just because it can do like more things. It is a paid app. I think you pay like $4 a year. So it's pretty cheap. And then CapCut is a really good free one. That's the one I use on my computer, actually. I haven't had to upgrade to the big guns yet.
Yeah.
So
Canva's also not a bad video editing app as well. Like, you can actually do whole YouTube videos in Canva. Canva can do anything. I'm learning more and more about it. I'm like, this is an amazing. I'm a tech girl. We've worked in tech, and the product itself, I'm like, I like you. You are cute. I really like you. He shows
love
off.
it. Yes. And then another one, we edit pretty much all of our videos for, if I'm getting fancier, I'll do it in like CapCut or InShot. There's things that InShot does that CapCut doesn't and TikTok doesn't, but most of the videos that I post to social media go through TikTok, and that's how I edit them. Sometimes I'll edit it in InShot to put the pieces together the way that I want to. InShot has this really cool feature where you're able to like extract the audio as well. I'm pretty sure CapCut can do that as well. I'm not as familiar with CapCut on my phone. I mostly edit videos on my phone.
Yeah.
But then, so yeah, there's just like different things for different editing tools. So you just got to figure out kind of what works best for you.
And those are great ones, especially for mobile. If you're wanting to get super fancy, you can get into the whole Adobe Premiere Pro stuff, which is what we do for our YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I help clip things out in there. And I've done a couple family videos in there recently because I'm getting more and more used to it. But again, that's another paid thing, and it's pretty expensive, and it's pretty technical.
Well, I've done that same thing where I've uploaded big fat videos and then been able to clip them up.
Yeah.
And so, but that's over in CapCut. So I can do that over there. I use that for work. I'm not a video editor at work, but I am temporarily a video editor at work.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
Even your iPhone, again, we don't know anything about Android. Sorry, Android people. But even your iPhone, you can do a lot in your Photos app as well. Even if it's just like, hey, I took a 10-minute video and I only want one clip. Like you can just clip that out, delete the rest of the video, like trim it however you want, which is also really nice in there. If you're just like for your own memories, if you're not posting it or whatever.
Yep.
That's a great way to edit.
Yep. One of our favorite things is in TikTok, you can put a sound on a video and then download it, and then it's on your phone with the sound. You can't do that in Instagram. You can do that also in CapCut as well. And so the libraries are pretty big on CapCut and TikTok. It's so funny because I'm pretty sure it's just CapCut in TikTok.
Yeah.
So if you know how to use TikTok editing, then you probably know how to use CapCut.
The other thing, even if you're not wanting to get on TikTok, it is really a nice app to edit with.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't know this. They think they have to post it in order to save the video. And then it has the little TikTok watermark on it. You can save the video before you post it. If you go on the right hand side, we'll do some videos on this to help people because it took us a second too. There's so many little things you learn as you're doing it. If you go down on the right hand side and you click the down arrow, you can click that little save button. It might get hidden, so just scroll up.
That's what I had to find out. My phone was like hiding it for some weird reason. So that's what we do is we edit it in TikTok, save it, and then I upload it to both TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's super easy.
Yeah.
So
And then it doesn't have any word marks.
we'll show you guys how to do that because it's great to be able to save the song. Now, there are random occasions when the sound will be banned or whatever, so you run that risk if you use the sound saved to the video rather than separately. Okay. So if you do that, then you lose all audio. So I have like my going to the hospital video, having baby number 2, and I used the Inside Out Bundle of Joy song, and so you can't hear anything on it because the music got like taken down or whatever. So anywho, so you do run that risk. There are risks, but that's the only video I've had that happen on.
And if you're saving them to your phone, then you'll still have the audio.
I still have it on my phone, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep. My main thing here is take the dang video.
Seriously.
Get in the shot. It's amazing what you can do with just setting up a tripod and just like recording you doing random stuff.
Yeah.
We've both recorded ourselves doing like baking videos with our kids.
Yeah.
And those are so precious to me.
Oh, they're such precious memories.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, it did feel awkward at first. Oh.
Get in the dang video. Yeah. Just do it. It's so worth it.
And I genuinely understand, like, if it feels awkward at first, just do it anyway. Yeah. And it does get better and easier. Like, it really does. And even if you're not going to put it anywhere, it's so nice to have videos of you.
Yeah.
With the people you care about.
I keep trying to think, like, is there one best way to document things, like places? But there really isn't. I mean, we use Day One for, you can do videos, you can do pictures, you can do journal entries. And then it's so fun to scroll through Instagram and show my kid my feed, like my personal, account or whatever.
And the highlights and
and just different things like that. And then, if you want to do chat books or you want to do whatever, there's so many things. And I just say do them all.
Yeah. There's family photo sharing apps, which is why I downloaded Flickr originally. But there's one called Family Album that's really awesome. You can use for free to share with just immediate family members. It's really, really secure for like children sharing and stuff like that. You can just share directly with the people who have the URL and they can't share that URL with anyone else.
That's super cool.
So there's lots of, that's just one example, but there's lots of ways to keep those documented moments and look back at them for sure.
Oh, so good.
Okay, jumping into some photography tips. So we love video. We love that it captures like sounds and emotions and all of that stuff. I love photography. I think photography is phenomenal. It's one of the oldest ways to capture people. I mean, it was painting, but then it moved to like still photos. And I think that is just so cool. The actual mechanics of a camera, I think, are amazing. So I'm like, it's just like really, really fun. And that's
having a nerd moment.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's my
so
nerd
cute.
moment. But I just want to say that the best photo is the one that you actually take. So
Just take it.
take them. We're going to go through some tips to help you get better, right? To like learn how to take better photos and videos. But if you aren't taking anything yet, just start somewhere. The only photos you regret are the ones you didn't take. Seriously. I mean, I don't have very many regrets because I take a lot of photos. But there are a few moments that I'm like, oh, I really, really wish I could look back at that. Specifically, a lot of the things in Ukraine. I'm like, oh, I wish I knew what that looked like. Like, I wish my brain could repaint it. I wish I had a photo. Even bad photos are better than no photos. So even if you're taking a photo and you're like, well, that's Unchi, who cares? It's better than nothing. Good job.
Yeah.
Just take the photo. So to understand your camera or your phone, the phone or camera that you own is better than the camera or phone you don't. I used to always think I'll take better photos and I'll take more photos and I'll get into that more when I have a better camera. And that was just not good. That was a no-go. And I waited years. I actually put my camera, because it was a Canon Rebel and it wasn't that nice, I put that camera in my closet for years on the top shelf, and I was like, because it's not like the best camera, then I might as well not use it. Well, how stupid is that? I missed out on years of taking photos with that camera, and it just sat up there collecting dust. So genuinely, doesn't matter which one you have, but I will just give you some quick pros and pros and cons of using a smartphone versus a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. Smartphones, they're convenient. They're always with you. We know this. They're easy to use. They're instant sharing capabilities. They're really, really advanced photography features. So it will edit things for you. Everything you see on your iPhone that you take has already been edited, which is awesome. And maybe you don't like that if you get like way down into photography, but for the casual snapper, it's great because it's going to look good, right?
That's me.
Smartphone cons, there is limited manual control, even when I get into RAW. I know I could learn so much more about my iPhone, though, because there are courses out there and people out there who take just iPhone photos, and they are unbelievable.
Yeah.
It does have a smaller sensor. It has less depth of field. Like, we all know the dreaded zoom, you know?
Yeah.
He's not really good. There's limited lens options, so there are those things. But it's with you, and it's there with you in the moments that matter the most. So whip it out, take some photos, take some videos. You're solid.
I will also say there are lots of little accessories and things you can do to amp it up if you want.
Yeah.
It's still not going to be the same.
Yeah.
But you can like switch out lenses, or you can put a flash on it. You can
Or light on
have
your
a
face.
microphone or things like that as well.
But they are getting better and better and better
Yeah.
too. Like, I look at our first iPhones and it was hard to like blow images up, and now like an iPhone photo can be blown up huge,
Yeah.
which is super, super cool.
Yeah, it's very awesome.
It put photography into the hands of everybody, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
DSLR and mirrorless camera, some of the pros there. This is cameras that have detaching lenses, you know, all that stuff.
A traditional camera.
Digital, not film. I think film is also awesome, but we're talking just, traditional digital cameras here. They have superior image quality. They just do. They have larger sensors. You have full manual control. You can do whatever you want. They have interchangeable lenses, so you can do exactly the focal length that you're looking for. You can zoom, you can do whatever. And they do usually perform better in low light, though iPhones are getting better and better.
Yeah.
And phones are, like, they have night mode now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Some of the cons for cameras are they're bulkier and they're less portable. And so that means that oftentimes people just won't bring them. And I even find that in myself, and I'm like a photographer, but I'm like, oh, this is heavy. I don't know how I'm going to carry this.
Well, and what if where you're bringing it may be dangerous for the camera?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
would really.
There's all kinds of things that like really go into it that make it
Yeah.
hard. It's also a steeper learning curve. You know, I think it's a shame if you get a camera and you just shoot on auto, because like your phone can do that. So if you're gonna get a camera and get into the manual, it does take a lot more work, and sometimes that's like hard to look
Yeah.
down and like experience.
Yeah.
And then it requires additional equipment. You have to have lenses. You have to have a bag. You can't just like stick it in your pocket unless
No.
it's a tiny digital camera. Then okay, like you can. But
Yeah. Which some people do that.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine as well. And you can.
But if
have
you're getting
fun
like a
stuff.
professional grade, it comes with its cons.
Right.
Right. So some quick iPhone photography tips. Use natural light. I always say to avoid flash unless necessary. I think flash can be a vibe though. Like
Oh
if
my
you're going
gosh.
for a specific type of photo.
Okay, receptions.
Yes.
Where you've got the exposure down and then you use the flash and it might be
Yes.
like a little blurry, or you get the lasers in the background.
Yes.
Such a vibe.
So fun.
Yeah.
And honestly, like even for my last birthday, I really wanted a flash picture of me in this restaurant because I knew I would get washed out without having a candle in my pizza. You know, I was just like, it was the vibe. It was the vision in my head. I was like visualizing this. I'm like, that's exactly what I want. But sources like windows or outdoor lighting are really awesome. So that natural light is going to be better than overhead lights. I will usually try to like position myself, or you can hold your hand out to see like where the shadows are or where the light is when you're taking a photo, and be like, ooh, they're going to be super shadowy here versus here, they're going to be like brightened up, and that looks really nice. And so you can kind of play around with things like that. Tap to focus. Please focus. Please ensure that your subject is focused, unless you're trying to get them blurry.
Again, vibes.
Yeah, there's different vibes.
Definitely
but like,
vibes.
if you're trying to focus,
Yeah.
all you have to do is tap the screen where you want it to, and it will focus for you, which is awesome. You can adjust exposure like we talked about with the video. Slide your finger up and down to adjust the exposure or to find the right brightness, right? For different situations, there's going to be better or worse. Use the grid, same thing.
Yep.
The grid just helps with everything. It helps with composition, and the rule of thirds is a really, really nice way to kind of frame your subjects. It helps you go along the grid lines, put someone in the middle so they're not completely squished over to the side, or, you know, I'm using my hands a lot in this one, so you got to watch the YouTube video. I'm like showing you all the things.
You're going to have to do like an in-depth tutorial on the rule of thirds or something like that.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it, but that's a great way to balance photos. Avoid zooming. Use your native lenses. So like Marley talked about, we both have cameras with 3 lenses on them. And that's nice because on the phone it says 0.5, 1, and 3. And we're not zooming to like 5 because that's going to get really grainy and gross. Just use the ones you have to keep high image quality.
Yeah.
The more you zoom, you'll reduce image quality.
Right.
You know? Try portrait mode. That's fun to do that depth of field effect to create that blurred background that looks super professional, that looks like it's been taken with a camera versus a phone.
And you can adjust it as well.
Yeah.
You can go extra blurry or just a little bit blurry.
And sometimes like it'll get funky with people's hair, so then you can adjust like how far you want it to like blur the background versus not.
Yeah.
Try to keep it steady. You can use both your hands. That's a really good way to keep it steady. When you're one-handed, that is going to be a lot harder to get like a steady grip for a photo. If you use both, or I've found if you literally put your elbow into your side when you're standing up, that helps you like secure.
Smart.
It makes your arm a tripod, keeps it more steady. and
Literally
sharp.
never thought of that, but that is so smart.
So that's one way to do that. And then edit carefully. You can use built-in editing tools or apps to enhance your photos, but just like try not to over edit. We remember the Instagram days of the very, very beginning where everything was like,
But that was the only place you could edit things too. At least for me.
yeah.
That was the only place that was my first exposure to editing a photo and to creating the depth was like, you know, you'd put a little tube of depth. And
I love it, honestly.
oh god, we're gonna have to share some of these.
If you want to edit super, super crazy, you can too. But, you know, just I think like keeping it like more authentic is great.
Yeah.
Again, experiment with angles, change your perspective by shooting from high to low. Try to, when you're taking pictures of people, try to get like their whole body in it if you can, like, or cut purposefully. So like cut at certain points. I'll see so many people like cut people's shoes in half and I'm like, it looks bad. Or like they'll put it right above their head and I'm like, they need more space. So just play around. Just like you'll be able to see afterwards, I like this photo or something feels weird. And so just like wiggle around with the angle until it feels right.
Yeah.
I will literally ask people now because I've had so many experiences where I want a photo of my family.
Yeah.
I see someone and I'm judgy. I'm like, do they look like they're young enough to take a good photo? Do they look like they're young enough that they have a smartphone and they know how to use it? Or are they going to do the dreaded zoom, zoom, zoom? Sorry, moms, older moms.
The zoom in or zoom out, because usually it's for me it's like I'm gonna take it from 20 feet away,
or they zoom in and like you're like in front of a waterfall and they just get your face and there's like some water like right on your like hair right here and you're like,
thanks.
I wanted the whole waterfall, but okay. So I usually will tell people, I will try to pick someone who looks like they can take a photo.
Be judgy.
And then I will literally say to them, can you stand here? And can you be sure to get this part of the ground? And I want this much sky above our heads.
Smart.
And then they can usually do it. And it's pretty good. So
Yeah.
just be a little bit of a bully. Be a boss. Clean the lens. That's the last one.
Be a bully. I love it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think the main thing so far is like just play around with it. What I've learned is that everyone has kind of their voice
Yeah.
with videos or with photos or with both, right? They have kind of their style that they like the most. They have their colors that they like the most. Like I personally love bright green in my stuff. Like I don't want the green to be like washed out kind of thing. But I also don't want the sky to be too blue or things like that, you know? So there's just
warm or cool or
Exactly. Yeah. There's kind of, like I said, there's like a voice when it comes to your photography style. If you get to that point, you don't have to, if you don't want to, it's good just to take pictures. Right. So just play around with it. I think it's so fun. It's such a creative outlet. I feel like.
And again, it's really about capturing the memories more than anything.
Right.
These tips are just like, if you want to advance beyond that, then awesome. But if not, please just start taking photos and videos.
Okay. The next part is making it fun for kids. We haven't super focused on kids, but like they are so fun. Oh my gosh. They can make the process of taking videos or pictures. So fun. It can be tough. I'm not gonna lie. Many a time have we held our screaming babies. We're just like, just take the dang picture, you know.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, like we're all having a meltdown. But again, you're capturing a moment. It's fine. Have a dance party, record their favorite words. We just did this with Leo and it was so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I watched that video too much. It's so cute.
Same thing with the cookie video I just made with Coley. I'm like, A, I love that I'm in it with her, and then B, the voice. I'm I'm so glad I captured
I
that.
want to remember that voice. I want to remember the way they say things.
The way they sneak little bites when you're not looking.
Yes. Well, so we made banana bread with chocolate chips, and Leo just kept like pounding the chocolate chips kind of thing. And that was so cute. Bake a treat, record them counting or doing their ABCs. Leo just learned how to count to 10. Yeah. And I feel like I need to record that because I'm like, I want to remember that forever.
The milestones are so fun that we get to have those on video now.
Yes.
So cool.
Right? Like a baby's first steps. I just got those last week from my second baby. And I didn't know at the moment. I was just like, oh, I think I was randomly recording for something else. And I panned over at her and I was like, oh, I got her. Anyhow, so then I was able to send that off to everyone.
So fun.
Give a tour of their favorite toys. That one's a good one too. Or have them read you a book. Leo has Brown Bear, What Do You See memorized. Or The Hungry Caterpillar also memorized because we read those every night. So I feel like I need to record him reading those to me because I had him read Brown Bear to me the other night. It was so cute because he's reading. Yeah. But it's just so cute and so fun. You're just like, oh, I just want to remember those little things. So
I'll literally sometimes hide my phone in Coley's room when we're like singing at night or whatever, so I can like capture those because same thing. She's like doing interactive actions, like that's a great one to do. Yeah. Just playing with them in general, like
the basket was funny.
Yeah,
you just never know, and you want to capture like their personality. Yeah, and little things that just make you happy for some reason.
And make them.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cute. I mean, I think we're very. I think we're in the thick of like the baby stages, and so we just want to remember that because we know it's not going to be like that forever. I know. Anywho, feel free to use a prop or toys. I've seen people like clip a white sheet or just like a solid sheet, and they can use that as like a Photoshop background, right? And it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, like a nice solid backdrop.
I've seen people do some. Not Photoshop, photo shoot background. I've seen people do really cool things with it. So
I think those are so fun.
Yep.
Yeah, anything that you're just like incorporating play, because again, the point of this episode is like helping you document the moments that are happening. Yeah. So like look for things like their favorite game or when they're swinging or when you're throwing them in the air and just like take some video of that so you can remember that.
You don't need to take 1 million. Just keep it short. Just at least a few. And then it's a little bit easier to compile and store everything later. You don't need 1 million.
Unless you do.
Unless you're Kylie. Yep. I try to tell Leo like how many pictures I'm gonna take or how long I'm gonna take them, kind of thing. So just trying to keep them engaged while you're taking those pictures and things. It can be really helpful. And then don't be afraid to capture just random candid moments, whatever they're doing. Like I love sneaking little pictures of Leo doing something funny by himself or with Mila or whatever, and it's just so fun. You just want to remember what they're gonna look like or what they currently look like, what they sound like, what they feel like, right? Yeah. So because it just goes so fast.
Just their genuine selves.
Yeah, it's not. I think both are important to have, like a cute posed photo versus just like a random candid video or a candid photo. I think they're both really special and really important. Yeah. So don't be afraid to just do all of them. Yeah. As I'm sitting here like, don't take too many pictures. Just take them. It's fine.
But definitely start.
Yep. I feel like the younger you start, then they're going to be fine kind of growing up. Leo now has taken to asking for me to take pictures of him.
Oh my gosh. This is my favorite thing ever.
Which I feel like this is a common theme. I've heard of other kids being like, oh, take a picture of me. And he asked specifically to send it to Kylie.
It's my
so
face.
I just take pictures and send it to Kylie. And they're so fun. They're like, nothing is really like too exciting that's happening. He's just like playing or saying
Can you take
something.
a picture of this? And I want Kylie to see it.
Yeah. And so I sent it to Kylie.
I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Every time I get one of those random ones, I'm just like, yes, hello, Leo. So good. So
Yeah.
cute. It's the
Yeah.
best. We're not going to get into too much depth in other things, but there are lots of things you could do for organizing and storing photos. There's lots of digital options. Like we've been talking about, obviously, I have some of my own challenges because I have so much.
Yeah.
But creating folders and albums is a really, really awesome one in Google Photos or Apple Photos or wherever you can send them to the cloud. I highly recommend having photos and videos in multiple places. If they're just on your phone, say you lose your phone, like that's gone forever. So I genuinely think like having them in a cloud situation, wherever that is, whatever solution you want to use, that's great. And then also having them somewhere local is a great idea.
I use Google Photos because I'm not a photographer and I don't have
Yeah.
people's weddings.
Yeah.
No. So
So for me, because I take like professional photos, I have all the raws, all the edited, both of them on a local hard drive and in the cloud so that I have multiple places to access those and give them to people if anything happens, right? But like I said, there's external hard drives, there's other physical storage. Another great way to organize and store your photos is to print them. Highly recommend creating photo books and prints and displaying memories at home in frames and collages and different things like that. We read all the studies of what it can do for a kid to be able to see those.
Yeah.
So print them. I know that may seem inconvenient, but print them. I don't love CVS and Walgreens and Walmart, but if those are your options and that's your price point, then absolutely print them there. I prefer Shutterfly and Vistaprint and other print places like that.
Shutterfly though is connected through Costco. If you have a Costco
Yes.
membership, it's discounted through Costco.
Which is so phenomenal. You can't do the pickup, so you have to think ahead. But please print your photos.
Yeah.
So fun. Or if you are a nerd like me, your husband will buy you a photo printer for your birthday. And then you can print your own.
And how many photos had you printed that first night?
Lots.
so many.
Yeah.
It's awesome though. I love it. Yep. Okay. Last kind of section we have before we're wrapping up is involve the whole family. You know, we talked about us. We talked about getting in the shot, getting cute random videos and candid photos of your kids or whatever. But we want to see your whole family. You want to see your whole family, right? So try to encourage your whole family to get in the shot. It can be hard to get your partner to take videos of you. I don't know about everyone else there, but I know we share the same struggle of like, hey, can you take a video of me or a picture of me?
But
like
then-
we have to ask for
But then
it.
it's like curated instead of candid.
Right.
Whereas he has like all these cute candid playing moments.
I know.
It's fine. That's why I just set it up myself now.
So many cute videos and pictures from us, of our husbands with our cutie kids. Anyway, so it's okay. We can train them. If we start being annoying, at some point it will just be like, I don't know, Pavlov or something like that. And they'll think, oh, this is a moment. Let me get this moment. So
And maybe your spouse has already graded it. Then that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep that up.
Yep. We love doing collaborative family projects. Like you use Day One, we use Day One. And that is one thing my husband is great at.
That's so
is
awesome.
he goes in and adds little blurbs for Day One.
That's so cute.
And I don't even know until I go in and I'm like, I didn't add any of this, but there's a ton in here. Or it's like up to date. And I'm like,
That's literally precious.
I have so much to
Protect
add.
him at all costs.
I know.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So it's not like anything too crazy fancy, but Igor will put his thoughts in there. Just like a quick little blurb. And I'm like, I love this. Thank you. Because I overthink it too much. And I'm like, oh, I got to do like a million pictures and a whole like big journal entry. So then I get kind of like stuck.
Whereas he's like, I'm just going to put my thought out.
Yeah. He just like a lot of times will sit in church and just upload a bunch of stuff to Day One. And by the end of church, he's got like everything up to date. It's great.
Yeah.
So I love it.
That's so awesome.
Yep.
Well, kind of in closing here, the best photos and the best videos are the ones that you're actually going to take.
Yeah.
So start somewhere, start taking them if you already haven't. If you already have, then you can look into leveling up your skills, trying to get creative, trying to kind of like play around with things to see if you can make things more special or storytell or whatever.
Yeah.
But honestly, just document moments, however that works for you.
Yeah. There are so many great resources out there for how to do all of this as well. And we'll share what we can, but there's an infinite amount depending on what it is that you're wanting to do specifically. We love to use TikTok as a learning resource. We also love YouTube for learning resources. So if you're wanting to know how to do something very specifically, go look it up because I'm sure someone has recorded it and put it out there for you.
Pinterest always has like posing ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Or like fun family activities you can photograph or video. And so there's the resources are endless.
Yeah.
So really just like we want to encourage you guys to start capturing and preserving your memories today, both with your family and friends and for you. And I think that it's so important. We're going to be asking you guys this week on Instagram and things like that to tell us about your favorite moments that you've captured and to look back at some of your photos and things like that to remember those special moments. But it's just so important to us, and I know that it's important for everyone.
Yep. Awesome. Good luck and have a great week. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Living Big podcast. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts.
Join us on Instagram and TikTok for all the things, from relatable mom memes to fun girls' night ideas with your besties.
See you next week.